Hey, how's it going, guys? This is DJ Facing20 here, and I'm back with another week of NFL predictions. We're on week 14 now. Yes, we are close to the end. We have about 3 more weeks after this to see what all we got. So last week I did amazing. 14-2, my record right here. 14-2. That's the best I've ever done on predictions, which is great. Although I didn't want to get the Ravens one wrong because the guy called me idiot in the comment section down below. So, guess I'm an idiot. But 14-2, not too bad. Only 2 games I got wrong was I had Baltimore losing, they did not, and I had the Eagles winning, and they lost to the Seahawks. But without further ado, let's get into this week's predictions. All right, with our Thursday night game, we got a great one for you guys. We got the Saints versus the Falcons. Saints come off of a great win there. Falcons come off of a loss. So this game is gonna be really good as a Thursday night game, I think. Both of them looking for playoff spots. Falcons looking for that wild card. Saints looking to win that division outright. Still have a chance though for a 1 or 2 seed, barring that the Eagles or the Vikings lose a game. This game, however, I will pick the Saints. Saints are just looking too hot. Their backfield is amazing with Kamara and Ingram. I don't see the Falcons competing against that. The defense for the Saints is looking amazing. So I'm going to pick the New Orleans Saints to beat the Falcons. All right, next up we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Browns. Packers, that was a great win, and ideally they need to have these wins to make it to where Aaron Rodgers could potentially start at the end of the season and get a playoff spot against the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns are the Browns. Obviously, I'm not going to pick the Browns. I think last week, even though the Chargers were hot, may have been one of their last chances to win, so I think that the Green Bay Packers will beat the Browns. Next up, we got the Lions versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions come off that loss, sloppy loss, and you got the Buccaneers coming in at home. I don't know, this is going to be a tough one. I think I will go side with the Detroit Lions. Again, overall better team, better play as of right now. I would not be surprised if the Buccaneers won that. They are somewhat of, not an underrated team, I guess, but they're not a team that you can sit there and sleep on pretty easily. But I will think the Detroit Lions will beat the Buccaneers, helping them into a playoff spot. Next up, we got the Raiders versus the Chiefs. Chiefs been sliding a lot. They're now 6-6 after starting hot to begin the season. It's a huge slide. It kind of reminds me of a reverse of what happened when Giants started 0-5 and then ended up winning Super Bowl. It's a reverse of that, honestly. And you got the Raiders coming in. Great game by Marshawn Lynch. Of course, they were playing the Giants. I think this is the week that the Chiefs come back and win it. Right now, it's like it's a horse race in the AFC West. I do think that the Chargers will win that division, however, which may be surprising to some people. I think the Chiefs will come back and win this game against the Raiders. This will be a great game to watch, but again, Kansas City over Oakland. Now we got one of the best games, if not the best game this week, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Carolina Panthers. The Vikings are just putting teams away like it's nothing. Case Keenum is playing amazing. You got a Panthers team who came off a shaky loss against the New Orleans Saints. Now, with this one, it's a tougher one. You know what? I'm going to shock everybody this week. I know it's not good to pick against the Vikings. I think the Panthers may have this one. Now, this could be a bad pick for me. This is kind of my surprising pick of the week. I'm going to pick the Panthers or the Vikings. Look, I think Cam Newton can do a lot of things on his feet. The Vikings have not really faced a quarterback on his feet that much this season. I think that could be a problem for them if they do in Cam Newton, and I can see the Vikings winning. But I will have the Panthers over the Vikings. Next up, we've got the 49ers versus the Texans. Garoppolo getting his first win as a starting quarterback against the Bears last week, while the Texans come off a loss against the Tennessee Titans. So I could say the 49ers would win last week. Garoppolo didn't play that well. I think, if I don't remember correctly, the Niners had to kick 5 field goals to beat the Bears 15-4. While the Texans, it was like a 10-point loss to the Titans. With this one, it's going to be tough. They're playing in Tennessee. I'm going to think the Texans are going to beat the Niners. Now, it might not only because of the play, but maybe the Niners don't want to exactly win. I know Garoppolo wants to come out there and show people he's a great quarterback and all. I mean, he may do good offensively, but the defense could let down. I just think that the Niners may try to fight for a higher pick of the draft. The draft is any kind of weapon or lineman or defensive player. You never know that. So I think that the Texans will beat the 49ers. Next up, we got the Colts versus the Bills. Colts coming off of a loss against the Jaguars. The Bills coming off of that loss to the Patriots. The Colts are just looking awful this year. Bills, not too bad. Obviously, Tyrod is playing, which is great because you don't want Peterman in. I think the Bills will beat the Colts here. Just a way better team, honestly. Colts, I just wish Andrew Luck would come back sometime soon. I feel sorry for the guy. I hope he comes back anytime, to be honest. I hope it's not like an RG3. But it looks like Russell Wilson may be the best quarterback to come out of that draft class now. But I have the Bills over the Indianapolis Colts. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Bears come off that loss against the 49ers, while the Bengals looked like they were in playoff mode because they choked against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're up 17-0 and somehow lost. Now, a lot of injuries happened. A lot of scary stuff happened in that game. I just think the Bengals will beat the Bears. Bengals are still a way better team than the Bears. Bengals, their playoff chances are slowly dwindling. They needed that win, and they can still finish the season 9-7 if they win out, which I don't see it actually happen that way. They have a lot of hard games to play, but I do think the Bengals will start here by beating the Bears. Next up, we got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Giants. Cowboys coming off that Thursday night win against the Washington Redskins. Great game by Alfred Morris. And you got the Giants, who lost against the Raiders. And just garbage what they did. I don't think they should have benched Eli at all. And obviously, proved to the score, they lost. Ben McAdoo, the head coach, has actually got fired. So the Giants will be with an interim head coach this week. They're not going to win. I don't think they are going to win. I think Dallas Cowboys are coming in and do a pretty good job. If you have any Dallas people on your fantasy team, start them. I think that'll be a good idea for you. Cowboys beat Giants and hopefully keep their playoff chances alive. So next up, we got the Tennessee Titans versus the Arizona Cardinals. Titans come off that win against the Texans as well. The Cardinals will come off a loss against the Rams. I am actually surprised at Blaine Gabbert's performance. He's not doing too bad, actually. He actually beat the Jaguars 2 weeks ago, his former team. I think this one the Titans will win. Although the Cardinals, if Blaine Gabbert plays as well as he has been, I would not be surprised they came in and won a game like this. But I do think the Titans looking a little bit better. I don't think they'll be doing the playoffs if they make it, but I do think they will do well here against the Cardinals. Next up, we got the New York Jets versus the Broncos. Jets, who I picked the win, beat the Kansas City Chiefs, while the Broncos destroyed by the Dolphins, which again I picked Broncos would lose. I did not expect them to be destroyed like that. I think the New York Jets will beat the Broncos this week. I don't know what's happened with the Broncos, honestly. They need to draft a quarterback, or they need to keep a quarterback healthy. They just can't seem to win with whoever they put out there. I'm going to say the New York Jets beat this one. Jets may have a shot, I don't know, at a playoff spot, so we'll see how they do there. I think the Jets will beat the Broncos. Next up, we got the Washington Redskins against the Chargers. Redskins off that loss against the Cowboys on Thursday, while the Chargers beat the Browns. Now, the Chargers have been my pick to win the AFC West, and I would not be surprised. So I'm going to say they beat the Redskins here. Now, right now, especially in Los Angeles, right now, Keenan Allen, Philip Rivers have this connection, which I do not see how they have it, but they've been on fire together. With a great back, got Melvin Gordon. I do think the Chargers win here. Redskins, Kirk Cousins. I think this could be a good game for the Redskins, though. However, the Chargers' defensive line is amazing, but not against the run, apparently. But they are really good against the pass. So Kirk Cousins may be in for a treat here against the Chargers. Next up, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, people, especially me, have been dogging the Jaguars. They have had a pretty decently easy schedule this year, and you have the Seahawks, who came in to beat number one team in the NFL last week, the Philadelphia Eagles, pretty decently. Came down to a lot of turnovers. A fortunate play for the Seahawks, where they passed it forward, but it was not challenged by the Eagles. I think the Seahawks beat Jacksonville this week. I just don't think Jacksonville or any of the AFC South teams are as good as their records show. So I think right now Seattle will beat Jacksonville. Now, next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Los Angeles Rams. Eagles come off that loss against the Seahawks, where it really came down to bad play calling and bad decision making by Carson Wentz a little bit. Doug Peterson, he went for a lot of fourth and short situations that kick field goals, which apparently cost him a lot of damage. You have him also not challenging the forward pass by Russell Wilson. I'm not trying to take away from Russell Wilson. He did amazing. And you got Carson Wentz fumbling inside their own 1 yard line. So you also have the Rams, who came in against a win against the Cardinals. Rams looking amazing. Offensive-wise, on fire. Defensive-wise, looking pretty good too. This one is going to be a great game. I think the Eagles, however, bounce back this week. The defense may stop the rushing game, which can make them very one-dimensional, which, the Eagles are still one of the best rushing defenses in the league. Now, they're not against a mobile quarterback, and that's what really destroyed the Eagles. Russell Wilson peed out of the pocket, and that could hurt them in the playoffs. I do think Goff is not as athletic as Russell Wilson, obviously, so I think the Eagles are going to have a close, high-scoring game, actually, against the Rams. Next up, we got a rivalry, or at least it used to be a huge, huge game. We got the Ravens versus Steelers. Could lead to not only a playoff spot, however, could be potential for an AFC North champion. I know right now the Ravens are playing really good football as of recently. Defense is looking amazing. Steelers playing really good football. Now, however, the Steelers are having a huge problem early on in the games against teams they should beat. They have come back multiple times in the past week to beat teams. I think actually the Ravens defense here is going to be the key to the game. Now, you have a bunch of suspensions. You have Juju Smith-Schuster suspended. So now, not only do you have to worry about 3, you have to worry about 2 wide receivers in Bryant, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell, who's still pretty decent. I think the Ravens beat the Steelers here. I think Juju Smith-Schuster may have hurt their team a little bit in that fight, but I think, and Shazier injury, that's for one thing I remember. The Shazier injury could come back and hurt that. Hopefully he's okay. That would look very brutal. I think right now the Ravens beat the Steelers. Next up, we got New England Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins. Patriots winning against the Bills, the Dolphins destroying the Broncos. Now, I don't want to pick against the Patriots and the Dolphins, although they play a good game against the Broncos. Broncos not looking good this season. Patriots win this one. I think we pretty handily win too. And, maybe somebody needs to talk about how they said that they were going to sweep the Patriots. I don't know. Although, you will say you got Rob Gronkowski, who is suspended for the game, but I don't think that's going to hurt much. Tom Brady, still Tom Brady. The defense is still the defense, and the Patriots will beat the Dolphins. Now that's it for this week of NFL predictions. Now I hopefully, do as well as last week, but I don't think I will. This week is a lot of good games that could go either way. However, you tell me who you think I should have picked. You tell me who I got wrong. And the dude who said something about the Ravens and called me an idiot, GG to you. I probably should have picked the Ravens in the defense. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.